we had a March Madness preview this past weekend with Duke versus UNC in Coach K's final game, as we've mentioned. And
Duke lost.
Duke sold. I mean, they lost 94-81. And they kind of got exposed a little bit. And I hate to say it because I'm a big fan of Adrian Griffin, but he's a project at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he's NBA ready right now.
Right, he's had some games where he just looks amazing, but then there's games like this where he's just jogging up and down the court. Where he's just a non-factor for basically 35 minutes. I mean, and also what really killed Duke was the free throws. UNC missed 3 free throws the entire game. They had like 22 attempts compared to Duke's it was in the single digits. I think it made like 8.
I find it funny. Like, think about how many students camped out for months outside of the stadium just to see them lose
thousands of dollars. People paid thousands.
You know how many celebrities were at that game too?
I think the highest paid ticket,
former players.
The highest paid ticket was like $80,000.
That's a whole tuition.
It's like a whole year's tuition at some places.
And they lost.
And it was it wasn't even that close. It was close in the first half, but then in the second
UNC
half,
just kind of pulled away.
Exactly. They had 4 players with at least 20 points.
It's crazy.
That was kind of insane.
Leaky Black just won the Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely a lock for the tournament now. So we'll see how it shakes up.
Yeah, but yeah, back to Adrian AJ. He really might not be NBA ready. I mean, I know he's only started at like half the games, but he's just been very inconsistent.
He just can't really create for himself at this point. I mean, we've watched him play literally in person, and he can create if he wants to. But it seems like he just sits on the 3-point line for Duke and waits to shoot the 3, and that's
exactly. I don't think that's his game. He doesn't try to create his own shot.
He doesn't, and I think he should, and I think they need him to, because I mean, Paolo Banchero is good, but he's proved he cannot do it himself. And Mark Williams is good, but he can't shoot, and he stands in the paint and posts up guys. But Adrian Griffin is honestly, to me, the X factor of Duke as they go into March Madness.
I think so too. Like he just needs to take more shots. Shoot. AJ Griffin, shoot the ball. Like when he gets with the shots that he takes, granted, and it's like not that many shots, he's very efficient with them. Yeah. So I think he needs to be like way more aggressive, and then it'll really show his potential. But until then, I agree. He is a little bit of a project. Maybe he needs to take another year.
Maybe. But we can move on now to some NBA stuff. And this is a team I would love if AJ Griffin went to. And that's me and Zach's New York Knicks.
They suck.
Been terrible this year. And
it's fine.
I mean,
it's fine.
They've looked good the last couple games, but I think I don't know if you guys agree, but it might be time not just to question the players, but to maybe question Tom Thibodeau a little bit.
I think we're past needing to question Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I think he is holding this team back.
It's insane. Last night they beat the Clippers by 20 something.
Cam Reddish,
Randall, Alec Burks. There's Fournier didn't play the entire fourth quarter, and they scored 30 something points with the young guys. It makes no sense. Just build around the young guys. You have such a pretty good young core, pretty good. I mean, RJ Barrett's averaged
Mitchell Robinson
20 something points the past month, calendar month.
Mitchell Robinson's been a walking double lately. Emmanuel Quigley's proved he can score. Cam Reddish, same with him. I mean, I think Obi's been out a little bit, but even when he's on the floor, he looks solid. A solid piece. I mean, I think it's time to not to give up on Evan Fournier, but he's not the guy that you expected him to be. And
Kemba's not the guy you expected.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even playing anymore.
Kemba's better than Kemba sitting out is better than Elfrid Payton on the court. So I don't really pay much attention to that.
You're not wrong about that. But it's like at this point, I really don't think that they're going to make the play-in. I mean, they're a couple games behind like the Hawks and
Tank
the
job.
Hornets. They honestly should. And
during the offseason,
and,
just trade
you know,
all of the big contracts.
tank and build around quickly and Reddish and Barrett and Mitchell Robinson
and future Nick.
You know,
Jaden
you
Ivey.
decide what you decide what you do with Julius Randle. But I don't know. I mean, this team is bad, and they don't seem like they have a direction right now. And I think that's kind of on top.
They're really
the worst place
that's
to be.
that's the worst possible place to be in the middle, where you don't know if you should keep trying to push for like a championship or
it's like in the NFL when you're 7-9 and you're fighting for a playoff spot.
Like, that's the worst spot.
It leaves you with nothing. I mean, it's just not a good spot.
Which I agree. They need to build around these young guys. They have a definitely solid young core. They're gonna get a pretty decent. You're gonna get a good pick in the draft. And somehow they just need to trade, like get rid of these contracts. All these old guys who just are. They're just not good. They're really not.
They're not.
I mean, counting numbers, they might appear to be good, but when you look at the advanced metrics, like they're negative. They're like negative players. They're detriments. So yeah, build around.
It's always
Obi Toppin, OHS alum,
our boy. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about another team quickly that's been bad. That's the Warriors. They won 9 in a row, and then they lost 2 of 10. I mean, lost 8 of 10.
They have been bad. Really,
it's just
they lost to the Knicks.
Yeah, they just gave up 56 points, I think, to LeBron James. So I mean, I think honestly that they're really missing Draymond Green.
I would honestly be concerned.
Yeah. And I think I don't think this comes as a surprise, but Andrew Wiggins is not playing at an all-star starter level. And I think Steph Curry needs to be more aggressive. I mean, he knows he can take over. And I think that it also goes back to the debate we had about Klay versus Kyrie. I mean, Klay Thompson has to step up. I don't think Kyrie's made that much big of a difference either. But I mean,
but during this stretch, Klay has really not been good. He's averaging 16.5, but that's on 39% and shooting 35% from 3, which is like, that's like okay, but that's definitely not Klay Thompson level. And his true shooting percentage below 50%, which is just not good at all. So yeah, Klay, I think it's outside of Steph, basically everybody has just not stepped up.
Yeah. Part of me like sees a concern for worry, but part of me doesn't, because they're still a 2 seed. Like, despite this stretch, they haven't lost their seeding. And I mean, they still have like the best, like they still have Steph. Like they'll turn it around. Like Draymond's gonna be back. Like come playoff time, they'll be healthy. I think that's really what they're
They just haven't been healthy.
More towards. They just
Klay, even Klay, he's been missing a few games during the stretch too. So yeah, it really does come down to health. And Dre is probably he's gonna be back for the playoffs. So I wouldn't be too worried, but it's obviously not ideal. And also, yeah, Steph needs to take more shots. I really don't understand. I honestly don't understand why Steph doesn't take at least like half the shots. Like that sounds like a lot, but he's
proved he can do it. I mean,
he's the best shooter in history. Like I know he wants to be a bit more of a passer, but and he's great off the ball, but you're Steph Curry. You have to take more shots. He's easily able to take over these games. So yeah, I think he just needs to be more aggressive. Stop trying to play this team basketball. It should really revolve more around him.
Yeah,